live. We're live. This is also going to be going up on YouTube. We're going to be doing a hand trap tier list for 2024, January. As you can tell, a new set just dropped, Maze of Millennia. Does that change anything? What does it do for our hand traps? We're going to get into it now. We're going to be talking about that. As always, make sure you comment. Let me know your feedback because, that's the best way we can improve as players is to, bounce ideas off of each other and figure out what's the best route to go this format, figuring it out. Right? So without further ado, let's go ahead and do the tier list. Let's jump right into it. All right, so first, obviously we have Ashe here, right? We have Ashe. Ashe, in my opinion, must play, right? Must play. The decks that are winning right now, there's a lot, right? So what you want right now is coverage. You want coverage on all decks that are doing well. And honestly, I just looked at some results today, right, from the Australian Open 2024. Listen to this, right? This event happened yesterday. First place, Centurion Horus, right? We got Rescue Ace, Chimera, Fire King, Despia, Pearly. You know what that is? Top 8 is filled. I'm not even done. Earth Machine, Floowandereeze is the 7th and 8th spot. There's not one deck that is the same in that top 8. That means there's too much I wouldn't say there's too much, but there's diversification in the meta, which means rogue lists are going to do well. It's just simply put, rogue decks are going to do well because there's too much diversity. So no one's going to be able to prepare for every deck. There's not one deck that you're going to be able to prepare for. So Floowandereeze snuck in there. Earth Machine snuck in there. No one believes in Pearly. Pearly's in there. And then Centurion, Rescue Ace, Fire King, those are all obviously going to be in top cuts going forward. Despia is not in here, but it is with Chimera. I mean, what can you do? So right now, Ashe is good against all those decks, in my opinion. So it's a must play. You need to play Ashe. Bystios is a little bit different. Bystios doesn't provide you great coverage. You need to be playing a light or dark deck, or you need to have light and darks in your own deck. So that's the restriction when it comes to Bystio. I'm going to put this in situational. I did a previous tier list. It ran to like almost an hour. I do like to talk and ramble on, but this is a stream as well. So these videos might go long if people are interacting. But right now it's kind of late at night on a Sunday, so I don't expect much people to be interacting. So I'll run through it a little bit faster today for you guys, and I'll post this tomorrow morning. I know Monday morning can be a little bit of a drag, so this will be something interesting for you guys to watch. So I'm going to say Bystio situational. Same thing with DD Crow. Even though DD Crow is one card, right? It's one card. Let's look at the top decks again, right? You have Centurion, Fire King, Rescue Ace. DD Crow doesn't necessarily hurt. DD Crow, let me correct myself. DD Crow hurts Fire King because if you hit the Garunix, then they might be in a little bit of a pickle there when they try to activate it. So DD Crow can be good against Fire King, but let's think about the other decks too, right? Chimera. Chimera has some cards in there that you can hit, but it targets, so it can be negated if they control the mythical beast on the field. Let's look at Centurion, right? You could hit the Emeth, but they can still synchro because they have Trudea, and they also have the other 4 that turns into level 8. No, that's Trudea. I don't know. I'm drawing a blank on the card, but you guys know what I'm talking about. There's 2 level 4s that are staple in the deck. One turns into a level 8, and the other one's a tuner. DD Crow doesn't really hurt that deck because those stay in the spell and trap zones if they're good, if they know what they're doing. The Emeth is the one card that you can really hit, and it can hurt. It can hurt if they don't have the set cards. I mean the continuous spell and trap cards, right? The 2 cards, Trudea and the other one. One of those do go to Grave, however, in their sequencing, I believe. So if you DD Crow there, that could hurt, and then that can slow them down a little bit. But I don't know. I still think DD Crow is situational. I don't think it's a card that's gonna stop a turn. I don't think it's strong enough. So we're gonna put it in situational. D Shifter, it's not a must play. It doesn't fit in every deck. It doesn't fit in every deck. But it's a solid choice for if you're going rogue, and it can play D Shifter. You have to play D Shifter in those rogue decks. So I'm gonna say solid choice because overall, you don't throw it into every deck. You will find that you would have complications with that. Right? You can't play it in Fire King. You can't play it in Rescue Ace. Really, you want your traps and emergencies in the graveyard to reset them. Pearly, you want your spells to hit the grave. I'm just looking at the list here, man. Like Chimera, you need your stuff in grave. Like D Shifter is a solid choice for the decks that can play it, which is Flu. That's why probably Flu's on here, right? Flu, Kashtira has been having strong representation. It could play D Shifter, right? Vanquish Soul can play D Shifter. I don't see any Vanquish Soul players on here, but I have seen them on the list. So Shifter, everyone knows this card is strong. If you can play it, play it. Simple as that. Jolan Lockbird is a must play this format. Everything is searching. Every deck is searching, no matter what. Even the rogue decks are searching, right? Let me go down this list. Centurion, the one that won the event, that searches. Rescue Ace, searches. Chimera, searches all day. Like, Fire King. Does Fire King search? Bonfire is going to be searching. When Populous comes out, right? Bonfire and Centurion's going to be searching if they play it. Jolan Lockbird. Fire King, right? The island searches. What happens before the island? Populous search, right? Populous search. If you DD Crow, if they do that before the island, they're kind of stuck there. They can't add anything. If they do Populous search on summon. So yeah, DD Crow's I think good all around. It has good coverage, and that's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for. Effect Veiler. It's between these two. I'm gonna put it in solid choice. And I'm gonna put it above Shifter because Shifter can be played in every deck. Effect Veiler can be played in every deck. The reason why I don't think it's a must play is because I think there's, even though the coverage is very strong, it's limited to main phase. It's limited to main phase. That's going to restrict it a little bit, right? You can only activate Effect Veiler and main phase. Even if you have multiple, you can activate multiple, but then your hand's probably clogged, right? So Effect Veiler is a solid choice. I don't want to put it in must play because a lot of decks activate their effects, especially Despia in end phase, right? Pearly activates their effect in standby phase. Rescue Ace can activate their effects in standby and draw phase with emergency. I'm going to say solid choice. I think you guys are going to agree with that. It's a good card. Don't get me wrong. Effect Veiler is strong. But the main phase restriction kills the card a little bit. Dumbs it down. Next card. This is a hot topic. This card right here is a hot topic. You want to know why? Because things are specialing from grave. Fire King, specialing from grave. Preventer. Does that special? No, it specials from banish. But Bell is a hot topic card right now. I don't want to say it's a must play. Right? It's not strong against every deck. It's just simply not. Pearly does not really special from grave unless it's, if they're field spell can special from grave. It's usually from deck. So I'm gonna put it in solid choice, and I'm also gonna keep it behind the Shifter. I think this is the right spot for it. Not every deck needs a special from grave. Only strong, like the Fire King deck is what everyone is clamoring about. Everyone's so worried about Fire King that they're like, okay, we gotta play Bell for it, right? Put it in the side. You don't need to main this card. Put it in the side deck. That's what it's there for. I'm gonna put solid choice here. Ghost Ogre. I mean, in a format that wants destruction, like Fire King wants destruction, obviously. Not good against Fire King. Centurion. That's an interesting one. I believe they have protection. If I'm not wrong, I believe they have protection from destruction if you're level 5 or higher, if you control one of the Trudea or the other one. So it could backfire. So I wouldn't say it's good against that. Pearly. Pearly, it could be good against Pearly. When they activate their effect to equip and you Ghost Ogre, it could be good. They just get their spells back. But it's probably good against the field spell, right? When it equips at the end phase. I believe that's an activated effect. Or is it mandatory? I mean, leave that in the comments, man. Leave that in the comments. Where would Ghost Ogre fit in this tier list? And does it activate? Can you activate it on Pearly field spell, or is that just a continuous effect? I believe it might be continuous, but I'm gonna put this here in poor choice. I don't think Ghost Ogre is in the format. I don't think it's dead. I do think it has its applications, but the coverage right now is not good for it. Imperm, always a must play. Tactics is a card. Thrust is a card. You know what I'm saying? Like, these cards are going to be running around everywhere. So Imperm is the card that you want. It's to play around those cards. Plus, it has application against every single deck. Every single deck has monster effects. So Imperm is a card you definitely want to have in your deck. These three right now are looking pretty good. These three right here are looking pretty good. Kurikara, right? Kurikara is good against decks that activate their effects on your draw and your standby phase, and even in your main phase, right? Without you having to apply a card. Without you having to do something, effects are just activating. So this card is good against Pearly. They're going to be activating standby phase, right? They're going to be activating that stuff. And you can tribute off their monsters. Really good against them. Centurion. Those effects activate in main phase. When they special summon, right? They're going to go ahead and do their whole combo. I believe Kurikara, since it's a summoning condition, can play around King Calamity. Please correct me in the comments if that's not true. If they King Calamity you, can you still activate Kurikara? That's something that I would love to know. I would love to know, because then I would put it in the side. I would simply put this card in the side for that deck because it's running around. Plus, who wants to get Calamity locked? I mean, that's just not fun. It's not fun. And then you can special summon their King Calamity against them at the end phase. How funny would that be? But other decks like Fire King activates effects on your turn. They do play on your turn, right? With the Kirin, Pop Ponyx, and then the Garunix is going to come out. Garunix effect, dump whatever. They're going to summon something else out. If it's Ponyx, they activate their effect. It could be good against Fire King because it's not destroying. It's not destroying cards. I'm gonna put this in bottom of situational. We have to wait and see how the meta pans out. And another reason why this card can be in the meta is because Kashtira is running around. Kashtira, you know what? Since Kashtira is running around, we're gonna move it up to top of situational. If Kashtira continues to become dominant in this format, and when I say dominant is because of this card right here, right, the D-Shifter, then what's the reason not to play Kurikara? What's the reason not to play Kurikara? All right, let's keep on going. Lancia. Okay, preventing you from banishing cards. The only deck I can see this really being effective against, Rescue Ace. Right? If you shotgun this, how are they going to get Turbulence out? They can emergency it out, which is just, they need that extension. What else can they do? They can't prevent or summon. It puts them in a weird situation. Let's just say that. I wouldn't say it's completely, I wouldn't say it completely stops Rescue Ace, but it definitely does put them in an awkward situation. Um, One that I wouldn't want to be in. One that I don't know how to. I just see emergency as your only out to that. And if you have Ash, it's game. But I'm gonna put this in poor choice. That's the only deck I can see it being good against. Fire King does not banish. It's good against Wanted package. Who cares, right? Despia banishes. Despia. It could be good against Despia. Let's see. Centurion. I don't think they banish. It's a poor choice. It's a poor choice. Nibiru. I think people are very cognizant of Nibiru right now. So, with that being said, even though Nibiru has phenomenal coverage, every deck is going to be trying to spam out summons. It's whether the person you're playing against respects Nibiru. And right now, I think Nibiru is at the forefront of everyone's noggin. You know what I mean? Like, people are thinking about this card. With that being said, I think it's here. I think it's here. It's going to be a card running around. 100%. 100%. It's whether people are going to main it or they're going to side it. That's what we don't know. And that's going to be on a case-by-case basis. That's going to be by your matchup versus matchup basis, right? Like, you don't know. So, with that being said, it's up to you. It can go up here. You can, but I wouldn't say it's a must play. It can be sided. It can be sided, especially if you don't have much room for non-engine. I would just say stick with these up here. Because Mannadium is a deck too. Still running around. It didn't top here, but Mannadium is a deck. Droll is good into that. I don't think Nibiru is. They go into Baron very fast. Let's see here. I'm going to look up another open. This one was on January 7th, so a couple weeks ago. And this, Tier Elements 1, right? Tier Elements 1. Then it goes Despia, Fire King, Rescue Ace, Runic, Fire King, Unchained. Nibiru does not stop any of those. I don't even think it would hurt Tier Elements. I'm just gonna be frankly honest with you. I don't even think it would hurt Tier Elements. Yeah. Weird. So I'll probably put it inside personally, but that's just my take on it. This is an interesting card right now. And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. There was an event, right? Let me look at it real quick. There was an event that took place today. You're probably hearing this news for the first time, unless you follow all of these different WCQs or World Championship qualifiers. Today, let me tell you, 3 people, and not all the deck lists are in yet, but there was 3 tops of Unchained. What? Where did Unchained come from? Why is there 3 tops in this event? The deck lists are not out yet. I'm sure if we look at the deck list, it's going to be the same typical deck list. Someone has figured out something though, right? Someone has figured out something, which means if this is back in the format, if Unchained is back in the format, maybe they're playing Shifter. Maybe they're playing Shifters now. But we need to see these deck lists to understand what's going on. That 3 Unchained and not even completed yet. Oh, and mind you, the winner of the event is Unchained for let me tell you the regional. Kaiserslautern. It's German. It's a German regional. Unchained won the event. I don't understand. And there's 2 other Unchained that topped. With that being said, let me go back to the original premise. This card can become a factor, right? It can become a factor against Unchained. There are times where there's 2 links on the field, and you could Phantasma them, or even if there's 1, Phantasma them, right? This is going to be situational. I'm going to put it at the bottom here because there's not a lot of other link decks going around right now. Fire King, Tri-Brigade links, but that I think that is going to die soon. Right, we're nearing the end of the month, which means Populous is going to come out. There is going to be a lot of links running around with that. However, are there better hand traps is the question. Are there better hand traps, and how is that going to look? You know what? Let's move this up to here. It could become more relevant as the format evolves, because I do know that once Populous comes out, links are going to be running around with that deck. So we'll move it up to situational. We got to keep an eye on these. This is where we're keeping an eye, right? These are probably side deck worthy, and this one is, especially if you could play it, you play it. I should just put it up here, right, to make it more real, right? Like if you can play this card, you play it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. If the deck can play it, you play it. But I don't want people to think that just throw it in any deck. That's why I have it here. But you know, hopefully with this explanation, you understand. Gamma is at 1. I'm sorry, it's dead. Gamma is dead right now. They need to put it up to 2 at least. Skullmeister. This is Graveyard Effect Negation, I believe. No one plays it. It's dead. Spooky Dogwood's a poor choice. This is more of a time card. It's really strictly just for time. No one plays it for any other application. So we're going to put it as a poor choice. Winter Cherries. Let's think about this one. There's not really a deck that is solely reliant on their extra deck at the moment, I don't believe. Kashtira doesn't really rely on it that much anymore. And you're not going to be playing any Kashtira cards in your deck. What generic card do people play? Baron's running around. I guess you can Baron, but you get rid of your own. Axis, you same, you get rid of your own. It's dead. No one's playing the card. No one's playing the card. Alright. What I want you guys to do is take a look at this list. Where did I mess up at? I want your feedback. I want people to interact with me to see where my thought is not lining up correctly, or maybe where I should shift my thinking onto maybe seeing why a card could be worse or better. I'm iffy on these two, right? I think they're situational. I think I want to wait and see how the format evolves, but I think they could be either really good or really bad, right? Bell, I think, is a side deck choice. I think everyone agrees with that, but if not, let me know. Let me know. Effect Veiler and Nib, these are another two that can be mained, but like I said, application is very match dependent, and a lot of effects happen outside of the main phase, so this could hurt, and people are very cognizant of Nibiru. That was my argument for that. So let me know, man. I mean, this is the tier list that I came up with. Did I miss any hand traps? I mean, I think I covered majority of what's relevant right now, but did I miss any hand traps? Is there something that really stands out? And I know this can be considered a board breaker, Kurikara, but it's coming from the hand. I'm gonna put it here for now. I'm gonna put it in the hand traps. But let me know, man. Let me know. I think this is looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. But I appreciate you guys checking it out with me. This will be on YouTube shortly. I'm gonna start uploading it right after this video. It'll probably go up tomorrow at 10 a.m., which is the 22nd, right? January 22nd. But I appreciate y'all checking in with me. Man, I'm out of here. Please comment below and follow, subscribe, do all that, like the video, whatever. All right, man. Peace out. Appreciate y'all.